Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a couple of lovebirds in love that love reacting to some League of Legends.
That was a lot of love. And it's the
There's
month
a lot of love
for it.
going on. Yeah, it's a month of it. So that's what's going on. And this is Wildcard Wednesday, people.
Woohoo!
So, surprise, we're doing League of Legends today for this Wildcard Wednesday. We release a schedule on Sunday for all of our reactions, Monday through Friday. And then Wednesday we leave open just for surprise. You know, you never know what's coming. Sometimes it's something new. Sometimes it's, just a random video. And this is one that's been on our list for a while, League of Legends, Annie. Also, because it's our League of Legends reaction, we have our official League of Legends drink, La Vie en League. So cheers.
Cheers.
All right, here we go. We're gonna watch this, and then we're gonna watch the making of after it. But we're gonna have to digest this out. We can't just go right into it. So we'll watch this, and we'll talk about it, and then we'll go into the making of. Maybe it'll make us happier. This is supposed to be sad.
All this buildup, I feel like I should have worn my waterproof mascara.
Yep, definitely sad. She can't control it. Jeez.
Next, Mr. Tibbers fights the nasty dragon. Let me. No, he's mine. Hey, Tibbers is stupid.
You're stupid.
No, he's not. Give him back.
No.
What did you do?
She took Tibbers.
What is wrong with you?
It was an accident.
Daisy started it.
Oh, did she now? Well, I'm sure she didn't mean to. We'll be playing together before you know it, okay? I promise, Firefly. You can't blame Annie. She is still our daughter.
No,
This time it really wasn't her fault.
your daughter's a monster.
Whoa.
Did you see that?
You know it's true.
She said, your daughter. mess with her bear. It makes her mad.
You shouldn't have done that.
So, yeah, that was definitely pretty dark and depressing. What'd you think?
I just feel so bad for that kid.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to articulate it other than that. I don't condone the stepmother's words or actions, but I think, all of us are capable of saying things or doing things in our grief that we're not proud of. And I can't imagine what losing a child is going to do to you, and then to follow that with the loss of a husband. All that being said, Annie lost them too.
Yeah.
And my heart breaks for this kid.
I can see why they got blamed for the stepsister's death because she's kind of obviously had these weird powers going on, and she wasn't to blame at that time. Her stepsister was just jumping on the rocks. Which as she was jumping on them, I'm like, that's very brave. No way I would do that even when I was a kid. That's crazy. Just a tragic story all around. And I wish I had a better way to put it into words, but I really can't. Like you said, a little speechless here.
Yeah, I think it speaks highly of the impact of this, that we don't have a lot to say about it, but we're still absorbing the gravity of it.
Yeah.
Because it was a very big story in a very short film.
I will say that I am constantly impressed with Riot's animation style and trying different styles, and their recent one, The Call, was a crazy improvement. It was so realistic, and then in this kind of art style, and the one that they had with Kin of the Stained Blade, just the different kind of artwork that they do with an Arcane and everything. I think it's cool that they experiment like that, and they switch things up, and kind of based on the story, what kind of fits the story best, what animation style will fit the story the best, and and how to tell it. And this was kind of told as kind of like a grim dark fairy tale almost.
I was gonna say, it seemed very fairy tale-esque to me, and it felt like a painting, a painting that moved. So it had sort of that almost medieval artwork kind of style, which makes sense. It's sort of a Cinderella story in a terrible dark twisted way, meets Little Orphan Annie, also in a terrible dark twisted way.
All right, so let's look at the making of.
Like a good behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Annie's always been a character in our mind that could be expressed beyond the game constructs.
There's
Music's
something interesting here
beautiful, too.
because it is a really crazy story about how she becomes who she is. She loses everything, but then gains her own self-confidence in what she's capable of doing.
We've never had an opportunity to go deep into who Annie really is before, why she's such a troubled, pained, and tragic character.
Annie as a character has this dark side of her. She is a little evil.
Very little and innocent girl, and so a lot of people underestimate her.
She really stands out with her character, with her look, and Tiber, of course.
She is this tragic character with these very dark powers.
She'll burn you and laugh while doing so.
Jinx.
Anthony had a really cool idea on her origin stories, how she became who she is, to help people understand the soul of Annie.
If we told that story for the Annie that we have in game right now, just evil kid that has fire, I think that makes Annie's story flat. We wanted to expand her world.
A lot of her power comes from her emotion and sort of depth of pain and anguish. Tibbers is central to that power.
Tibbers was a gift from her mom, kind of the last tangible memory and connection she has to her real mom.
We want to portray this child side of Annie, and that's why we set on this painterly and fairy tale kind of style.
It looks like a painting coming into life.
How much can we make Annie's story feel like a child's fairy tale, being told back to you in a medium that is appropriate for that?
We've never done anything like this before. There was a lot of R&D that required actually a team to spend quite a bit of time to like figure out the look and feel.
We tested out motion capture initially, and then from there we started with 2D, but just didn't really work well for our project. Why don't we just paint every single frame? Realistically, if you were to paint 24 frames a second, you need like an army of people to be able to do something like that. We're talking thousands upon thousands of hand-painted frames. The problem is, how do you build a character that looks painterly, but is still able to give you a performance that is realistic? We've seen full 3D CG content before. We wanted something that just looked unique and something that we could call our own and live up to an Annie story.
I pushed to use realistic 3D and then making it to look painterly. I want to be sure that the end result is looking more handcrafted.
We start from our foundation, which is producing the actual 3D animation that you'll see that feels flat but gives us the emotion. So we project this flat image onto the 3D model itself. Now that one 3D character has this texture on it that feels painterly. And then finishing it off
right
with
away.
the painterly cell animation on top.
Painterly.
To give
Is that a word? Painterly?
I don't know, but I like
So
it.
we'll
So
start.
it is now.
They should be like 40% smaller.
40% smaller. It's too low.
The perspective that everyone has of Annie is her in-game. So let's bring it out. Let's see how much of that personality we can get out of it to incorporate what we know of her, including her abilities. So for instance, burning her sister, that's her cue. Setting fire to her room, that's her shield. So I'm hoping that when you do use your R, or when you've actually created Tibbers, that it sparks that memory of like, oh yeah, yikes.
If you want the character
That's cool how they
inside people's
brought the gameplay
heart,
in there.
you have to build a backstory to let people be related to them.
You're gonna feel connected to her in a different way, and I like her more. Now she's someone real. She's not pixels on the screen.
I hope that players, when they watch this, it elicits a connection, an emotion to make you feel for her.
That went by super fast.
Yeah.
I will say that they did a really good job because like I didn't think of Annie as a evil character or a villain in the short when we watched it. Like she had this tragic story and like she like laughed when she like I don't know, I guess like when she like burned her sister's hand or whatever, she laughed a little bit, but like I don't know, like my brothers would laugh and like they would hit me like in the shoulder or something. I mean, it's not burning, I know, but they were, her sister stole her teddy and she asked her not to, and she just used that power. I don't think she was really like trying to like kill her sister or anything. I mean, she obviously like if she had that in mind, she would have let her sister just go and drown and not trying to like save her right away.
What I'm blown away about is blown away by, I should say, is the care that they put into this. Because obviously the idea of Annie as an evil character comes out of the gameplay, which is why we aren't familiar with it. We don't do the gameplay. So our first experience with Annie is her origin story. So we're empathetic with her right off the bat.
Yeah.
But the fact that they took a character who within the game world is seemingly evil and decided, no, we're going to make a backstory that makes her a real human and that allows people to empathize with her. I applaud them for that. I have so much respect for that. I loved seeing the collaboration that was going on. You had people with all different skill sets from all different areas with different accents, all collaborating on this one character, working to make sure that this is a tangible story that people from all walks of life can understand, can relate to, can empathize with. And I think, you know, we've harped on it on this channel so many times that hurt people, but I love seeing an origin story like this when you have a character who seemingly is villainous, you know, even like Jinx, who I compared her to. You have a character who seems bad, but you go back far enough and you learn what drove them to that, and you realize it didn't have to go this way. That, you know, people are not only a product of their choices, but they're also a product of their experiences. And her experiences at a very young age were very, very rough.
Yeah, and you know, we got Arcane on the brain because we just finished watching it on our other channel, which you should go check out. Shameless plug right there, and it's down below in the description of our video, along with the playlist for all of our League of Legends reactions. But you know, I mean, I dismissed it when you said like, oh, she's like Jinx. I was like, nah, she's not like Jinx. But like when they kind of described her as a villain, I'm like, okay, like now I see more where you were saying you got it before I did, where she is like, you know, like Jinx, in the sense of like, you know, Jinx's thing was kind of more about you know, love me, and like fear of abandonment. This is like the Arcane Jinx, and this Annie is just kind of more about like a little bit more fear based than it is about abandonment based. It's more like, I think like, you know, when she gets afraid, and then she like, you know, immediately like is like she goes to her power and like to protect her, like her bear to protect her, and her flames that, you know, like to protect her. She does that shield wall like of flames or whatever to protect her.
Kind of like how Jinx goes to her little monkey, and they both lost everything. I mean, Jinx lost Vander and Vi, and Annie lost her stepsister, and her father, and that came after having already lost her mother. I mean, there are a lot of parallels to them.
And I know that they operate in different worlds. Like Arcane isn't necessarily canon for the rest of League of Legends. It's kind of like the multiverse they got going on here. I'm glad we saw both videos actually. So thank you so much for the recommendation. That's how we get to know all these videos. Like not only to check out Annie, but to check out the making of Annie. It's because it was a recommendation from our community, which is the best out there. So thank you all so much. And yeah, now you've seen our reaction for League of Legends Annie and the behind the scenes for Annie Origins.
Please keep in mind that it is definitely not definitive.